Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Back to the Drawing Board. My name's Ted Davies, and this is Ted Davies Artistry YouTube channel, Facebook page, etc., and Twitch as well. So welcome. Today we are going through Retrieve Book 3, page 2. Kind of the splash page. It's going to be the first of the initial, I guess, story. The page that we just went over a couple days ago was page 1, and it basically recapped what had happened in the last book and where we're moving forward to in the story. So let's get to it. Welcome, everybody. Get your paint ready. Yeah, so today, like I said, we're going to be starting out with working with watercolor. I've got 4 different colors, but we'll get to that in a minute. We want to talk about Cashman's Comics, our sponsor. Let me get to them real quick, and we will talk a little bit about John and Petey. John has been around Bay City, Michigan for the last 26 years. He is awesome. It is a real pleasure going to the store, picking out some new comics every month with John. He will ship worldwide as long as you pay for it. And I think that's just an awesome thing anyway. He's really good for the collectors too. So check out everything he's doing. But if you're really looking for newer, the newest Marvel, DC, independent comics as well. And he sells all my work. So check him out what he's doing. And say hello to Petey, the guard dog. He is awesome. All right. So let's get to Comics Unlimited. One of the things that I am very, very proud of right now is that we are dealing with this amazing book. If I can find it here, give me 1 second. Okay, there we are. This amazing book right here. Comics Unlimited you can find on Glenn B. Fleming's Amazon page. It is a publication, international publication that we put out quarterly, and it'll tell you history, a lot of different history about comics, as well as great articles by independent artists and creators, as well as our own staff writers. So check out everything that we've got. We write a couple articles in there too, but it comes digital and in paperback. So check out what we are doing there. Okay, let's see what I've got here. Let me remove that for a second. Okay, so what's in the box? That's the next thing that we do. We'll touch base with the comments here in a minute, guys. If you guys could like and share this out too, that would be awesome. Every week we do a breakdown of vintage comics or pseudo vintage comics, and we check out what's in the box this week. So what we're going to do is these are going to be up for sale, and we will have them listed for price. Again, the way it works here is pretty standard. What I do is if you're part of Ted's tribe, you get a hold of me, direct message me if you're interested in any of these comics this week or from the past weeks. Let me know if they're still available. I will put them aside for you, and I will give them special pricing since you're part of Ted's tribe, as long as you get a hold of me by Wednesday at 5 o'clock. This airs Tuesday at 10 a.m. This is live, so just want to give you a quick rundown of what we've got here. Let me get you to full screen. Okay, so we've got the Max number 3, the Max number 4. Nice butt shot on that one, I guess. Really cool covers, though. These are amazing. Really, I love the black lines on it. Just really, really great. Love them. Love them. We've got the all-new X-Men number 1. Join the revolution. Let's check out everything that we're doing on this one. This is these are pristine copies, so please, if you're definitely interested, let me know. X-Men Legacy number 2. Great cover. Absolutely awesome cover. We've got the Laurel K. Hamilton's Anita Blake Vampire Hunter. This is for mature content. It's number 1 of the series, Circus of the Damned, The Scoundrel. Check that one out. Again, these are in really, really great shape, guys. All right. We have Fear Itself, Book 7. This one I do have, I think I do have part of the series in this, but this week we're going to be showing you Book 7. Check that one out too. We have Civil War number 1, Iron Man Initiative. Check that one out. That's a really awesome cover. I like that one a lot. All right, and then we've got the Confession, Marvel Comics Event Civil War #1. Check that one out as well. Like I said, these will all be available on our page under, well, it'll be under Ted Davies Artistry, but also Comics Unlimited's, or Comics Unlimited, excuse me, Kilted Brothers Comics, and we will have them available for you. Hopefully up, let's see, they should be up on the block there for sale Wednesday after 5 Eastern Standard. So, okay, so having said that, that's pretty much it. Let's get to the comments, see where everybody's at here. Good morning, everybody. Oh, wow, we got a full house. Okay, hey, Glenn, what's up, man? How you doing? Carl, good morning. Eric, how you doing, sir? Hopefully everything's going well. I'm looking forward to getting those books. Pete, how you doing, man? Let's see. And of course, everybody at Twitch, thank you for stopping in. Donna, hello, hello, hello. A lot going on right now. I've got, I wanted to show you a couple of the pictures of, yeah, I know, Eric. Max is awesome. He's a very interesting guy, that the creator of that. But let me show you, I wanted to show you the process. We've already gone through the last. If you haven't seen it, go back through the videos. It'll show you the cover page and then the first page of Retrieve 3. I want to show you for the first time, I'm not done with the badging or any of the text work yet. I did show Glenn a little sneak peek, but I want to show you the initial cover that's going to be done for Retrieve 3 without the badging. This is actually going to be in the print form as well as on the back of the comic. So this is the work that we did a couple weeks ago. This is going to be for book 3 of Retrieve. This is going to be the first printing of this. You'll notice that I vignetted the, I've got it. I like that really dark burnt look, very almost Baroque in a way that if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it. I'm just trying to have a nice, beautiful, almost, not a religious experience, but this book is really paramount, pivotively, if that's a word, of how the Retrieve story is starting, the actual process and the regression part of it. And once you read the story, you'll understand a little bit more about it. You'll see what I did with the hands too. You can see that skull-esque-ish look of Archimedes making the skull face. Very subtly, but as the story goes along, you'll understand a little bit more about it. But I'm really happy with the way that this turned out, and I appreciate you guys that tuned in and watched it live. The second page that we did last week, I ended up finishing up everything that I wanted to get done with it, and continuing on with this this darkened look. This is going to be page 1, the actual the overview page is what I call it, the preface, if you want to call it that. The text will be on the right. Obviously the chairman character is very emerging is probably the best way, but I'm really happy with the way that these turned out, the way the lighting worked with the watercolor. These are a little bit digital enhanced. As I do most of my work, I'll do it traditionally, and then once it's in print or production, I'll end up changing it slightly to give it more of a more of just the finishing touches of what I want. I really am pleased with the way that the inks and everything else took place on that. So I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna look great. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. I'm really excited about the book, and I want to continue on with what we're doing here, because I think it's going to be. You can see my process a little bit about what we're doing. I also want to thank everybody for this last week. Whoever invested in my work, it's going to be sent. I'm going to be sending those out. Thank you guys for taking the initiative and getting a good deal on the artwork. The artwork that is remaining is going back up to full price again. And I don't know if we're going to be doing another sale before Christmas, but I'll keep you guys tuned. And if you do need a commission or anything like that, let me know. Or if you see anything throughout the pages, Facebook and such, that is up for sale, please contact me and purchase if you'd like. So, okay, so let's get to the artwork. That's what everybody's here for anyway. So, okay, let's get over here. Okay, cool. All right, everybody can hear me okay? Good. I think you can. So what I'm doing a little bit differently is I've got I have these standard these just normal palettes, but then I've also got what we call a tray. So these trays I use a lot, for all different kinds of hobbies and that kind of thing. But these trays are mainly for watercolor. That's what I mainly use them for. I'm going to be we're going to be discussing a little bit about how I manage the page here. I didn't show you this before, but this is actually from these Vemcos, the drafting tools that I used over the years in architecture. I use these. This is one of the guides or the rulers that I used to use, and it's been. What's nice about this is it's got on the back. It's got a ridge that gives you an offset. It actually raises it off of the page so that you're slightly off the page, so that if you're inking, it won't drag the ink underneath the ruler. But with this, it also has a little bit of a guide to where I can put the line almost perfectly half inch off the side, which is great for when I'm bringing in the border. So I'm actually using this ebony pencil. I'm not going to be, this is what I don't normally use, but just for visual here, so you guys can see what I'm trying to do. I don't even know if it'll show up here on this page. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but the light here is kind of weird. I'm trying to get you, a little bit more of a, whoops, that moved that page. That's not good. Good draftsman there, Ted. Yeah, so, but yeah, it's been really it's been nice to actually use these. I've had this for since in college, and it's still, this Vemco is just awesome. Love it. The armature that I use still works great. So I don't know. Okay, so you guys know about my bordering system on that. Pretty easy. Brings that down to 11 by 17. Again, I don't know if you can see that or not. It looks like it's coming up, but I don't know. You can see that the line work. Yeah. Again, these are 12 by 18 sheets, 100-pound press. Cansons, these aren't like a major, they're good enough for production work. So I do a lot, and the originals that I sell, they'll last and everything else. But if I'm really doing some really fine artwork, I'll use the more expensive paper. This is awesome for what I can do with it, what I can achieve with it for the price point. And that's a big part of this. I mean, a lot of the comics, I mean, it's margins, with everything. So when you're dealing with product, that's definitely something you need to look at. Paper, the paper shortage has not helped any, and these prices have gone up. Excuse me, let me get a drink of coffee there. Yeah, so that's just keep that in mind when you're selling or when you're buying stuff, because it's important that you keep all these numbers. It's not, don't lose yourself in it, but make sure that you're aware of it, because it does add up. It does add up. Okay, let's see what everybody's saying. Hi to everybody. I'm doing Lewis, good morning. I'm doing Retrieve as a comic. It's still, I guess, yeah, Retrieve, the first two books are 1 and 2 are both comics. I'm going to keep in that format with Retrieve, as well as in the next series that I'm going to be bringing out in the future after this Retrieve. There should be five books in the Retrieve series is what I want to get done. I want to have everything done this year. 6 books is probably, it might be a 6th book, but I'm not sure on that. A lot of things I've worked through with Craig on his end as far as the adaptation goes with the book for script. So, and it's been really interesting. It's gotten me some ideas of how I want to take the story. So what a better problem to have. Let's see. I'm just reading what Glenn said here. Let me post this real quick. The tools are as fascinating as the art. I'm still using the same set squares, ink pens, rulers, etc. I used for the past 45 years. Yeah, one of the things that I was really blessed with was my dad left me a lot of his art, actually the trays here that I was telling you about, even these, even the watercolors for that matter. A lot of the things that he left, even some of the brushes, some of these that I use daily, and some of the Japanese brushes as well. But he does have a ruler that he left me, not this one, but there's a silver one. I call it Excalibur. It's this huge, long, straight edge, and there's a sticker on it that he posted on it when he worked at Ford. Put his name on it so it didn't walk off. But it also says, "Do not use this edge to cut." So I use it to cut everything. So, but that's my little nod to Dad, just to give him a rest in peace, right? Poor guy. Yeah, Glenn, you showed, yeah, that ink pen was something else. You need to use that. Yep. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start on page 2 right now. I'm using a palette of, I'm starting to work with a couple different things. I'm going to probably end up on a lot of these. I'm only going to use 3 to 4 colors on each page. The splash page, I'm going to be doing is going to have obviously Archimedes at the forefront. And again, we're going to see how that goes. But as far as the 3 colors, I've got the yellow, bright yellow. I believe it's a turquoise, and then this is the turquoise. This is black, and then this is a crimson red. So the very basic palette. I'm going to be mixing them. We're going to actually see what comes out of that, because I think that I'm really looking forward to some of the turquoise really popping. I'm going to use some really light lines about what I want to do with Archimedes, much like I did with the chairman in page 1. So the one that I just showed you. Let me go back to that real quick. Not that one, this one. So the chairman in this one, again, it doesn't look like book 1 or 2. I'm kind of evolving the style a little bit more into where I'm at now, and I think that's important, because I think it's as artists, I think that we need to embrace that change. I think it's more interesting, and I think it's more captivating to see the progression of the artist. And in this book, I think it's a fine opportunity for me to do that. So I hope you agree. So on this, I'm not going to be dividing it up in panels, because it is a splash page. Usually I'll divide it up in panels, but I've got a couple things I'm going to be doing a little bit differently in this book too. I'm actually going to be layering some of these pages with other paper and other things on them to be very, not just stylistic, but to give you an idea, some depth to it. And then when I scan it, you'll be able to see these variations. Really, I think you're really going to enjoy it. But as far as the book goes, the book 3 is basically they've been given the go ahead. You can read 1 and 2. They're still up for sale, and they're also for digital purchase on teddaviesartistry.com. The 3rd book, they've already been given approval. The governments, if you want to call it that, or the United Nations have given approval for the Retrieve program to start working. They can start searching, and they're going for Dr. Mengele, the reincarnation of Dr. Mengele. And they've found him. They've found 5 participants that they believe, what we call participants, that are potential people, and they won't know until they regress them. And that's where Archimedes comes in. Archimedes facilitates the Retrieve program, and he regresses people back to their past lives. And this is something that becomes kind of a touchy subject with Archimedes. And this is what we're finding out. And this is where the story's leading. This is the first of the Retrieve project in motion. So that's where it's at with this. So that's the basis of what this first page is going to be. I want to portray the not conflict in Archimedes, but the wonder. He's an AI, but he's sentient, so he's very aware of things. He is the most advanced AI that's ever been created. And like I said in the last show, he's fluid based. He's water based. He's very much it's biological um, thinking, if you want to call it that, or consciousness. So, and in that, there's a lot of there can be a little bit of struggle sometimes. I would think it's not just a binary, 0 1 0 1 coding work. He's evolving. So that's what I'm going to try to put down on this paper today. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to do some really light sketches on here, and then I'm going to throw color down, and then we're going to throw some. I might do some color pencil on this. It just depends. I'm going to be doing a couple other things. I've got some pastel work I'm going to be bringing into this book as well, which I'm excited because I haven't used pastels in probably about 30 years, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the colors, how they pop on this with once the watercolors in place and those work. So yeah, so let's get to it. So I'm thinking that what I want to do is a lot of the things with Archimedes, they're usually straight on. They're usually that kind of vibe. I'm going to do this. It's going to be a darker. Again, it's going to be a vignette, but I'm going to do that digitally. So let me just work with it. Let's see what we got as far as treatments go, and I want to see if there's a way that we can do this to really make it as interesting as possible for the first opening page of what I think is going to be an awesome series. I already know it's an awesome series, and I'm using this ebony pencil mainly because I want to make sure that you guys can see what I'm drawing, because I know on the number 2s and that or the 2H's you can't really see what I'm producing on this, especially with the way that the camera is. And keep in mind, a lot of the things too that, like I'm talking with John Celestri on Feed the Beast, and that if you guys hopefully been following that, check it out. It's usually on Wednesdays at 7. Now we've got a recording every week or so. The layout of this with the texting, with the word bubbles and that is very important. So keep that in mind. This is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to have more control of it. Everything's done digitally with my with the texting, or with the word bubbles. But again, I'm just trying to get a feel for the line work here. One thing about Archimedes, his neck. If you see the artwork in a lot of this, his neck actually and his arms, they have this like extensionary, if that's a word. I think I made that up. A way that it moves almost like a telescope. So he can be taller, he can be shorter. There's all things that he can do with this, and in that, it changes. It's kind of it morphs. His body does, which is quite interesting on the overall for his the way that it brings in a lot of, because he doesn't have a whole lot of facial features. It brings in a lot of mobility for his moods, the way that his body shapes. I'm just reading here. Just bear with me. Yeah, Carl, I agree with that. I think that, antique stores for that matter too. I was watching a show about cursed things, and there's a place, of course, in Ohio. There's a couple that collect cursed objects, which I think's nuts. I think that you shouldn't do that, but they, there's a lot of negative energy on that kind of stuff. But I think on the other side of it, when you have good things that are handed down to you from other, people that you've loved and that kind of thing that are passed on, I think it makes it the experience of using those products and actually especially with the artwork. I think, my dad lives through this completely. And I know it sounds corny. Some people might not believe that, but I do. So, I mean, that's a definite, I think it's a definite bonus to having to using these tools. I think it's absolutely a fact that that we have the connection with those people too. You know, I think that's a very important thing. I think that there's not. It's like they're in this. He's at the drawing desk with me, and that's really important for me. And that, that's part of the. Some people have might have a hard time with that, and then, you do have to let go of those people, but it doesn't mean that you have to keep them out of your life. You know, I think that's a pretty awesome thing. So I'm happy with it. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'm going to bring that up. These are just light sketches. These are just light lines. I'm just trying to get a feel, and then we're going to start throwing some paint down, because I think that's how I roll. So you guys will see it in a second. All right, I'm going to end up starting out with I think we're going to start out with some cyan, some of the turquoise. Let's do that. Let's do some of the turquoise. And I'm trying to do something a little different with this too. Get some water on this paper. One of the things on this, I'm going to start doing a very monochromatic, what's the word I'm looking for? Character style. The monochromatic side of it, maybe monochromatic is not the right word, because it's not going to be all one color. It's a tonal, it's going to be a tonal thing that's not going to be necessarily the definition on this. You'll see it in a second what I'm talking about. And I want it rough. I want this paint to be as malleable. It doesn't matter if it goes over the border or not, because I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing here on this. But I want this colorization to be the set the tone for this character. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's not what that's watercolor. And some people say, oh, he's just making a mess. Well, whatever, get over it. I think it's so important that we don't limit ourselves when it comes to this kind of work. As artists, I think that we need to let the art do the work. Don't necessarily have to have it perfectly finished. Don't lose the track that the art knows what it wants. Okay, we're going to get overall. I just want to get this slight turquoise in here. Let me get some more of this pigment on here. And to set the tone for the character itself in the page. I know that hopefully you guys can hear me okay. And we'll let that dry up a bit. And one of the things I do is, you'll see that I dampen it down here in a second, but I just want to get that color across the page, so I'm getting my line work. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, because that is the beauty of watercolor. It's not. Okay. Then I'm going to take some of that color off here in a second. And this is this dappling effect that I just, it brings in so much, to me, it brings in so much depth to the colors. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do is, and this is kind of my thing, I'll end up using some of the yellows here. it almost turns it green, but you'll see what I'm doing in a second. That's good. I like that. And of course, I'm going to splash that with a little bit of red. You'll see in a second here. Hold on a second. To keep that fire theme going that we talked about. Yeah, I took too much off of that one. Hold on. Just a little bit of technique there. I'm not trying to pull up too much because I did that one on that corner. You can also just paint with water, which is another thing that it's taken me a while to kind of work with on that. What's nice about these trays too is that they're bowed. They actually have an arch to them. So you put the paint in the center and then you see how it gutters down here. It's actually quite nice because you can mix a lot of different colors very, very easily with it. Really enjoy those. Very subtle things like that that you learn about as you're using the tools. Really, really cool. Of course, you can probably take that dent out and, the bow, but I think it's good to keep it there and just have it do, oops, get that out of there. These are I'm just trying to bring in colors for Archimedes. We'll talk about that in a minute, where he is as far as the placement. But again, I think it's very important that we get the colors down first. That's how I work. And then some people don't do that. They work the opposite way. I know we've been talking about that a lot, Glenn and I, how the colors or the line work for him is more important than. You can see it taking shape now, as you guys know. You guys kind of know my style now. Love it or hate it, it's mine. So. And again, a lot of this will be hidden with the wordage and that he's going to be portraying. Or proclamating, not portraying. But. Okay, so that should be a good basis for that. Let that dry up a bit. Let's see where the comments are, guys. There's something magical yet daunting about the name Archimedes. Excellent choice, given you had Plato and Socrates to go at. Well, Archimedes being the master of mathematics. I figured it was it just had to be. There's so many greats, and I really think that for some reason it resonated, that sound. Archimedes, just I don't know. It was something that I just felt I needed to put down. And that's what I tell people too, go with your gut. If you have something that you're trying to work with in your stories, and you're trying to I'm bringing in a little purple here, by the way. If you're starting to bring in your storyline, and you just go with your gut. You can ask other people. I don't mean that, but but I think that you're missing the point. Go with what your instincts are telling you, because most of the time you're going to be right. It might not be right for anybody else, but it'll be right for you. I am going past the border on this. I tend to do that. I'll sign when I'm working on pages, though. I'll sign them actually in the border, because I noticed that I try to do it differently now with my covers too, because I don't sign them unless they're unless people want them. And I don't have my signature usually on my covers anymore. I used to do that, but I'll put the text, the nameplate, but I don't do that like I used to for signature, unless it's absolutely finished. Going to put some extra water on this, break it up a bit, get some of that saturation down a little bit. This usually will take down some of the color too, which I like. It gives it just that extra pop. Let's get some color here. Okay, because I want this to be a page that people are going to be like, oh, okay, this is the opening. This is going to be set the standard for what is to come in this book. I think a lot of people don't, display, like we were talking about on Comics Unlimited, talked about splash pages and what works and what doesn't, and what makes a splash page versus what doesn't. Yeah, cool stuff. Just let that cool down a bit, dry up a bit. Supposed to get some thunderstorms today, so not looking forward to that. I hope it doesn't affect my my recording of some of the stuff we got going on this afternoon. I'm gonna let that dry for a second. Yeah, right. Where would painting? I think it'd just be bland. It'd just be a bland. That's part of it. If it's bland, then what's the point? I mean, I guess you can, abstract art. Art is art, right? You figure out what you want to say with your art, but it boils down to it. It's still subjective. So I think that I have that's just my technique. Pollock had his technique. I've got mine. Picasso had his technique. I've got mine. Take some ass. I don't know about that. I just think that you just have to, you can't be regimented. I think, I've designed 30 years outside the box. I was always thinking outside the box in architecture. And I think that you still have to think outside the box in art. I think too many times we think 24 pages of comic book. We don't think about outside that. We don't think about the story necessarily. We think about the technique and the construct of that book and what it's going to be. And I think we miss out on a lot of that. And that's, each page is technically a box that I'm trying to break out of. That's the way I look at it. That is the way I look at it. Yeah, and you can't. You either please yourself or you don't. And the bottom line is, some of the stuff I don't like, but um Carl says my instincts keep telling me to stop writing and retire again, but other people keep giving. Yeah, you just go ahead and keep writing, bro. I'm enjoying that book, by the way. Um, yeah, I just think it's 42 degrees Celsius here. It's the hottest. Yeah, I heard that you guys are having some type of heat restrictions or something. I don't know what that's about. I heard that there was an emergency or something over there. Hey, John, how you doing? Yeah, there's too many. There's way too many things I don't think I'll ever be retired either, John. I don't think I'll ever be retired. I think that there's a lot of people that retired too early, or they, what is retirement? I mean, is it doing what you want to? Yeah, okay. I think that Christine and I designed a life that we don't have to take a vacation from, and that's what I think people should do. I think that there's too many people that are regiment themselves to where they've got to, if they retire, they got to go to Florida or wherever, Arizona, and they've got to move into a condo, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, whatever that makes them happy. But yeah, I feel that there's too many. Like I said, you know, you got to figure out you. You got to figure out you. But I don't think I'm ever going to retire. And who would want to retire from creating art? My dad painted up till the day he died, and that's we should all be that lucky if we're artists. Yeah, Britain has been very warm, Carl. You're right. I think that's yeah. You take care, because I know, Glenn, it's you guys aren't used to that kind of heat. Yeah, retirement it can be. I've seen other people start their careers in retirement, and I think that's their real love, their passion in retirement. I think that's great. When Chris and I moved up here, it was kind of like early retirement, and that was something that we're not conventional when it comes to that, and we're very bohemian when it comes to that thinking, because a lot of people, I think you lose yourself with too many with the regiments that are there, especially retirement. I know that with retirement, I know that you work 30 years for somebody, the old style was, and then you retire. Well, that's not the world that the Gen Xer lives in, or the millennial, and even some baby boomers don't have that opportunity either. The world has changed, and I really don't think, like I said, I don't think I'm ever going to be retired. I'm going to be writing. I'm going to be doing books. I'm going to be going to conventions. I'm going to be doing artwork. I'm going to be creating art, even if it's in my own gallery, whatever. I'm not gonna quit. In fact, one of my biggest things now is making sure I create as much art as I possibly can. Hopefully, people find it interesting and be inspired by it and purchase it. Hopefully, but the bottom line is I owe that to myself, as well as my family, my legacy. We got a lot going on right now. There's a ton going on, as you guys know. But I think that that's paramount. I really think that that's paramount for me. Again, I'm bordering right now, just trying to border everything in a bit here and there as it dries. I don't want to make it too muddy, but I think that that's good, I think. And I'll start working on some color darkening with Archimedes. All right. Lewis says retirement is escaping the constructs of societal imposition. Yeah, I agree. Carl says, I was already retired from my day job. I was going to retire from writing and concentrate on book cover designing. But that, that's awesome though. You've got your direction, Carl. That's great. You got a plan. Nothing wrong with that. My brother keeps getting regular jobs, but he's not creative at all. He could never stand what we do now. Well, and that's, to each their own. I know people don't, my people very close to me don't understand what it is I do. And that's okay. That's just part of where they're at in their lives. Just because they don't understand it doesn't mean it's valid or it's not valid. It's how you feel about what you're doing. Are you making the world better? Yeah, I think I am. So could be wrong, but I think I am. All right, let's get this. Give that some time to dry. And again, I'm just trying to layer this up a bit to get some feel for you guys will understand it in a minute. Pull this out a little bit, see if I can get this pigment down a bit. Yeah. See, sometimes you can pull that color, that pigment down or blend it out a bit so they have a sharper edge. Not necessarily all the time, but I might have to. And again, some of this stuff too, it's like Bob Ross said, happy accidents. There's a lot of things that you can clean up or you can maneuver that will suit itself. It's not a big deal. So don't lose yourself in the technique of it or something screwed up or whatever. Don't do that because sometimes I do that too, and it's not good. Just clean it up a bit. Okay. I'll come back to that in a minute. Let that dry a bit. Okay. What's up, Jody? How you doing, man? This is page number 2, Joe, that we're doing. This is going to be kind of the splash page for the entry of the book. We've already got the page 1, as you saw last week, and then the cover. Again, while this is drying up, let's go back to those real quick. The cover is done now. We're pretty much, I've got to put the badging on, but that's going to be the artwork for the first cover of Retrieve Book 3, first printing. You guys can see what I'm trying to do there as far as the skull, the hands, how it mimics a skull, and it'll be more in tune with that in the storyline. You'll understand that a little bit more once you read the books. And then here's the actual intro page. This is the chairman intro page, and it'll be the preface from the story and where it's going. You'll on the right side, you'll actually where that on the right side where the space is, there's going to be text of the intro page, if you want to call it that. So yeah, so I'm real happy with the way they turned out, though. Just I'm very I'm liking the darkness, the richness of the colors, and yeah, it's really coming together. I'm really happy with that. So, but yeah, I'm going to add some more colors here as we go. We've been on for about an hour, so I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm still going to be working on this probably. God, that went fast. I didn't realize we were here an hour. Thanks for sticking with me for so long. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Again, check back if you guys see the comics that I have for sale this week. Let me know if you're interested in those. Play on the playback or whatever. Let me know Wednesday. I'll cut you a deal with Ted's Tribe on that by Wednesday at 5 o'clock. If not, they'll be going up on the boards, so to speak. Follow us on Kilted Brothers Comics too, as well on Facebook, and check that out because there's a ton of vintage comics available. Let me know if you're looking for something too as well on that. This week we have I'm going to be, let's see what I've got. Well, we got Comics Unlimited Thursday at 10 o'clock. I know that we're going to be recording a From the Beast with John Celestri, right, John? This week, and I don't know if we're supposed to be posting it this week. I've got a couple things possibly posting this Wednesday. From the Trenches of Hollywood, we're going to have a few things as well. We're recording a few things there, and then we'll see where that if we're publishing anything for this week. If not, it'll be next week. And of course, Drinking with the Davies this Friday. I don't know what we're drinking yet, but I know it's going to be good, and it's going to be summer-esque. So, and we might be doing it depending on the weather. We'll see if we'll do it outside. And it might be part of the new thing with Drinking with the Davies. So check that out. Of course, I'm going to give you updates on this on my social media. We'll get an update on this as far as where I'm going with it, as far as line work and colors. And then once I get it enhanced digitally, and then we'll see where we're at. So thanks again, guys, for stopping in. I appreciate you. I'm glad everybody got a chance to see what I'm working on with Retrieve. I'm excited for the book to be coming out soon. So, and I think that we're going to be, let's see, next week we'll be working on the first of the layout pages. So that'll be telling the story itself and how I lay out my pages a little bit with text and all that fun stuff. So, and see where this ends up in about a week as far as the completion. So, thank you again for stopping in. We will talk to you soon. Please like and share this. Subscribe to Ted Davies Artistry. We'd love to have you part of this amazing adventure that we're on. And check out everything that we're doing on teddaviesartistry.com, as well as on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page and Instagram, all that fun stuff, and Twitch. Thanks, everybody, for touching base with me today. No envy, no fear, and do something good for somebody, guys. We will talk to you very, very soon. Thanks again, guys.